Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we have got something special in store for you if you are gearing up for the Microsoft 365 Fundamental Certification exam. In this video I will be covering the topics and questions that will help you pass the MS-900 certification exam. I have compiled a 55 practice questions to get you prepped and primed for the success on the Microsoft 365 Fundamental Certification exam. But hold on tight because it's not just about answering questions. We will also be explaining the concepts that will make you feel like Microsoft 365 superhero. So, if you are ready to ace the 365 Fundamentals exam and elevate your career to new heights, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and join our growing community of tech enthusiasts. So, gear up and let's dive into the success. Question number one. Your company makes use of platform as a service that is PaaS for their Azure solution. Which of the following options are components that your IT employees are responsible for? And the options are option A, networks, option B, databases, option C, application, and option D, server. So we have basically three models of cloud provision. One is IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. The second is PaaS. Here we are talking about that is platform as a service. And the third is SaaS, that is software as a service. And in each model, there is a share responsibility model. For some components, the customer or the organizations consuming the cloud services are responsible, while for the rest, the cloud provider is responsible. So in this question, we are being asked about the platform as a service and for which component the employees or the consuming organizations are responsible. So the correct options are applications. So in past, the consumers or the IT employees are basically responsible for their applications, while the network, databases, and servers are being taken care of by the cloud provider. And this is the explanation. So in a platform as a service model, the cloud provider manages the underlying infrastructure, including servers, networking, and storage. This allows the organization to focus on building, deploying, and managing applications without the responsibility of managing the underlying hardware or operating systems. IT employees are generally responsible for the application as well as data and any configuration of the application environment within the platform. So this is a general responsibility sharing between the organization or the customer and the cloud service provider. So when you use the on-site services, the customer or you are responsible for everything because you are deploying, managing, and consuming the applications. In infrastructure as a service, the customer is given more flexibility and responsibility, and customer is responsible up to operating system, while the underlying infrastructure, including virtualization, server storage, and networking, is being taken care of by the cloud or service provider. And in the past, which we are talking about, the consumer is responsible for the application and data, and the rest of the responsibility or the rest of the stacks are being taken care of by the provider. While in SaaS, the cloud provider is basically responsible for everything. The consumer only use the application that is being provided by the cloud provider inside their cloud, such as this Microsoft 365, while the consumer only use this application. So this is the general shared responsibility model between cloud provider and the consumer. And this is very handy. You people should know this shared responsibility model and these different types of cloud service provision. Question number 2, your company makes use of platform as a service for their Azure solution. Which of the following options are components that Microsoft are responsible for? Choose all that apply. So again, we have practically the same question, but it had been turned around. Here we have been asked about the responsibilities of the cloud provider, and in this case, the cloud provider is basically Microsoft, because Azure cloud is managed and provided by the Microsoft. So again, we have the options of storage, database, applications, and operating system. So the Microsoft or the cloud provider is responsible for, and the correct options are rightly guessed, the storage, databases, operating system, servers, networking, etc., while the consumer or the customer is responsible for the application. So again, this is according to the same shared responsibility model, that in past the consumer is responsible for application and data, while the provider, or in this case Microsoft, is responsible for all of the rest of the responsibilities. Again, we have the same explanation. So we'll move forward to the question number 3. And question number 3 is that your company plans to move their server environment to the cloud. You have been tasked with identifying a cloud model that allows for the current email environment to be upgraded while also reducing server and application maintenance. You need to make sure that the requirements are met. Solution: you recommend the platform as a service model. So, does this solution meet the goal? So the question is to move to the cloud for your current email environment. So you are using email in your on-premises environment and you want to move to the cloud, while reducing the key point is reducing the server and application maintenance. So you don't want to maintain the application or server infrastructure inside the cloud, and you recommend the PaaS model. So does this meet the requirement, and does this is the right solution? And the correct option is no, because as we studied in PaaS, you will need to take care of the application. You will need to maintain the application, while here we are talking about that we need to reduce the application maintenance or footprint. So this is not the correct solution, and this is the explanation. Platform is a service focuses primarily on providing a platform for developing, testing, and deploying application rather than managing entire server environment or specific application services like email. PaaS reduces development and maintenance for customer applications but may not address the full infrastructure or application level needs of an existing email environment. For an upgraded email environment with reduced server and application maintenance, software as a service like Microsoft 365 would be a more suitable recommendation. SaaS provides fully managed services including maintenance, updates, and scaling for applications such as email, which meets the status goal better than the PaaS. So this is the question number 4. Again, we have the same question, but this time you recommend the infrastructure as a service model. So does this again meet the solution? And obviously our answer will be no, because in infrastructure, in a service model, the consumer will be responsible for the maintenance of operating system, the application, as well as the data. While we want, in question we have been asked to reduce the server and application maintenance, so obviously this is also not our solution. So infrastructure as a service provides virtualized computing resources over the internet such as servers, storage, and networking, but it still requires the organization to manage application, middleware, and the operating system. For an email environment upgrade with reduced server and application maintenance, platform as a service or software as a service would be more suitable. SaaS, for example, provides fully managed application like email, meaning the provider handles all maintenance, updates, and infrastructure, which meets the requirements better than infrastructure as a service. So again, we have the same question, but this time the solution is SaaS or software as a service. So does this meet the solution? Obviously, this model, the SaaS model, meets our requirements because in SaaS we don't need to maintain the server or the application. And this is the SaaS environment or the SaaS model. Software as a service is the most suitable model for upgrading an email environment while reducing server and application maintenance, as SaaS provides fully managed application managed by the provider. With SaaS, the cloud provider handles all aspects of maintenance, including updates, security, and infrastructure, allowing the organization to focus solely on using the software without managing the underlying server or applications. This meets the goal effectively. Question number 6. Your company is planning to migrate to Microsoft Azure and Microsoft 365. You are required to identify a cloud service that allows for website hosting. Which of the following is the model you should choose? And the options are software as a service, option B, platform as a service, option C, infrastructure as a service, and option D, container as a service. So the key question or the key point here is that we need website hosting, and for this the correct platform or the correct model would be platform as a service because we need our own hosting. And the explanation is that platform as a service is ideal for website hosting as it provides a managed environment for developing, testing, and hosting web applications without requiring the management of the underlying infrastructure. In Azure platform as a service, services like Azure App Service are specifically designed for hosting websites and web applications, offering features such as scaling, load balancing, and integration with development tools, making it the most suitable choice for website hosting. Question number 7. Your company is planning to migrate to Microsoft Azure and Microsoft 365. You are required to identify a cloud service that allows for the deployment of a Linux virtual machine. Which of the following is the model you should choose? So the options are option A, software as a service, option B, platform as a service, option C, infrastructure as a service, and option D, container as a service. So here our requirements are the deployments of an operating system that is Linux as per our choice. So in for this scenario and for these requirements, we need infrastructure as a service because when you take the responsibility of deploying your operating systems, then the service model or the cloud model that suits you is the infrastructure as a service, as we already saw in our graph of shared responsibility model. The operating system comes the responsibility of operating system when taken over by the customer is in IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. So the explanation is that infrastructure as a service provides the most control over the underlying infrastructure, including virtual machines, storage, and networking. For deploying a Linux virtual machine in Azure, infrastructure as a service is the ideal choice as it allows users to create and manage virtual machines, select the operating system such as Linux, and configure other aspects of the virtual environments as needed. Question number 8. You are employed as a Microsoft 365 administrator. Your company plans to make use of My Analytics. You need to identify the different features of My Analytics and Workspace Analytics. Which of the following are features of My Analytics? Choose all that apply. And the options are option A, it can only be acquired as an added reference on license. Option B, it provides teamwork and collaboration metrics. Option C, it is included in the Office 365 Pro Plus license. And option D, it provides employee work and collaboration metrics. And the correct option is option D, that it provides employee work and collaboration metrics. So My Analytics provides individual productivity insights, including metrics on teamwork, collaboration, focus time, and personal productivity patterns. It offers employee work and collaboration metrics but does not require a specific add-on license, and it's included in many Microsoft 365 plans. However, My Analytics does not cover full team or organizational metrics at a high level. That would be the function of Workspace Analytics. Question number 9. Your company has a Microsoft 365 subscription. As an administrator for this subscription, you are educating users on which component to use to register their personal home device with the company. Which of the following is the component that should be used? And the options are option A, Microsoft Azure AD Identity Protection. Option B, Enterprise Mobility plus Security. Option C, Microsoft Teams. And option D, Microsoft Yammer. And the correct option is option B, Enterprise Mobility plus Security. So Enterprise Mobility plus Security, that is EMS, is a Microsoft solution that includes features for managing and securing devices, including personal devices. With EMS, users can register their personal home devices and administrators can manage access to company resources while ensuring security compliance. Components within EMS such as Azure Active Directory and Intune facility device registration, conditional access, and secure access to company data on personal devices. Question number 10. Your company has a Microsoft Office 365 subscription. As an administrator for this subscription, you are educating new users on which component to use for audio and visual communication with colleagues. Which of the following is the component that should be used? Options are option A, Microsoft Exchange Online. Option B, Enterprise Mobility plus Security. Option C, Microsoft Teams. And option D, Microsoft SharePoint Online. And the correct option is option C, Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is the component within Microsoft 365 specifically designed for audio, video, and chat communications with colleagues. It enables users to make voice and video calls, hold virtual meetings, and collaborate in real time through messaging and file sharing. Microsoft Teams is an ideal choice for fostering communication and collaboration among team members. Question number 11. Your company plans to acquire a Microsoft 365 subscription. One of the services included in the subscription is described as a cloud service that allows you to do the following: store and protect files, share files, make use of an app or web browser to access files from anywhere, and restore files to an earlier date and time. Which of the following is the service being described above? And the options are option A, Microsoft Office 365 Pro Plus. Option B, Microsoft Yammer. Option C, Microsoft Office. Sorry, let me get back. Option C, Microsoft Office Delve. and option D, Microsoft OneDrive for Business. And the correct option is option D, Microsoft OneDrive for Business. So Microsoft OneDrive for Business is a cloud storage service that allows users to store, protect, and share files. It provides access to files via an app or web browser from anywhere and includes features for restoring files to an earlier date and time, which helps in file recovery. This aligns perfectly with the description provided in the question. Question number 12. Your company plans to acquire a Microsoft 365 subscription. One of the services included in the subscription is described as a private social network that can be used to effectively sort out support problems. It can also be used to collect feedback on projects and documents. Which of the following is the service being described above? In the options are option A, Microsoft Teams, option B, Microsoft Yammer, option C, Microsoft Office Delve, and option D, Microsoft SharePoint Online. And the correct option is option B, Microsoft Yammer. So Microsoft Yammer is a private social networking service designed for communication and collaboration within organizations. It allows users to sort out support issues, share feedback on projects and documents, and foster community engagement among employees. Yammer is specifically tailored for enterprise social networking, making it best fit for description provided. Question number 13. Your company intends to deploy a number of Microsoft Surface devices that run Windows 10 using Windows Autopilot. You have been tasked with preparing the devices for the deployment by importing a CSV file via the Microsoft 365 Device Management Portal. Which of the following combinations of blades will help you achieve your goal? And the options are option A, the dashboard and device configuration blades. Option B, the device enrollment and devices blades. Option C, the device enrollment and devices compliance blades. And option D, the device compliance and device configuration blades. And the correct option is option B, the device enrollment and devices blades. And the explanation is, so to prepare Microsoft Surface devices for deployment using Windows Autopilot, you need to access the device enrollment blade to manage the enrollment process and the devices blade to import the CSV file that contains the device's information. This combination allows you to effectively manage and configure the devices for deployment in your organization. Question number 14. Your company has a Microsoft Office 365 subscription. As an administrator for this subscription, you have been tasked with recommending a solution that will allow users to make use of unsuited applications on their Windows 10 devices. Which of the following should you recommend? Option A, Azure AD Connect. Option B, Configuration Manager. Option C, Windows Autopilot. And option D, Windows Virtual Desktop. And the correct option is option D, Windows Virtual Desktop. And the explanation is that Windows Virtual Desktop, now known as Azure Virtual Desktop, allows users to access a full Windows 10 desktop environment, including the ability to run unsupported applications on their devices. It provides a cloud-based solution for running applications that may not be compatible with the local Windows installation, enabling users to access their applications securely from anywhere. This makes it the best choice for your requirement. Question number 15. Your company has a Microsoft Office 365 subscription. As an administrator for this subscription, you have been tasked with recommending a solution that forces cloud-based application to use the same credential as on-premises applications. Which of the following should you recommend? And the options are option A, Azure AD Connect, option B, Configuration Manager, option C, Windows Autopilot, and option D, Azure AD Application Proxy. And the correct option is option A, Azure AD Connect. So the explanation is that Azure AD Connect is a tool that allows for the synchronization of on-premises Active Directory identities with Azure Active Directory. By using Azure AD Connect, users can sign into both cloud-based applications and on-premises applications using the same credentials, providing a seamless single sign-on experience. This is the most suitable solution for your requirement. Question number 16. Your company has a Microsoft Office 365 subscription. As an administrator for this subscription, you have been tasked with recommending a solution that prohibits users from copying corporate information from managed applications installed on unmanaged devices. Which of the following should you recommend? And the options are option A, Windows Virtual Desktop, option B, Microsoft Intune, option C, Windows Autopilot, and option D, Azure AD Application Proxy. And the correct option is option B, Microsoft Intune. So what is Microsoft Intune? Microsoft Intune is a mobile device management, that is MDM, and mobile application management, that is MAM, service that allows administrator to manage applications and enforce security policies on both managed and unmanaged devices. With Intune, you can set policies to restrict actions such as copying corporate information from managed applications installed on unmanaged devices, helping to protect sensitive data. This makes Intune the best recommendation for your requirement. Question number 17. You have recently made use of Windows Autopilot to deploy Windows 10 devices in your company's environment. You have been asked to make sure that data that's stored in the OneDrive for Business is available to users from remote locations. Solution: you enable Microsoft Azure AD multi-factor authentication for the users. Does this solution meet the goal? And the correct option is no, this solution does not meet the required goal. And this is why. So enabling Microsoft Azure multi-factor authentication enhances security by requiring additional verification steps during the sign-in process, but it does not ensure that OneDrive for Business data is accessible to users from remote locations. To make sure that OneDrive for Business data is available remotely, users need to be able to access their OneDrive access through the internet. MFA alone does not address the availability of data. It only secures the access process. Therefore, the solution does not meet the goal. Question number 18. You have recently made use of Windows Autopilot to deploy Windows 10 devices in your company's environment. You have been asked to make sure that data that's stored in the OneDrive for Business is available to users from remote locations. Solution: you enroll the devices in Microsoft Intune. Does the solution meet the goal? And the options are yes or no. And the correct option is no, this solution does not meet the required goal. And the explanation is that while enrolling devices in Microsoft Intune provides management and security capabilities, it does not automatically ensure that data stored in OneDrive for Business is accessible from remote locations. For remote access to OneDrive, users must also have proper network access and authentication. Therefore, simply enrolling devices in Intune alone does not guarantee availability of OneDrive data from remote locations. Thus, the solution does not meet the goal. Question number 19. Again, we have the same question. You have recently made use of Windows Autopilot to deploy Windows 10 devices in your company's environment. You have been asked to make sure that data that's stored in OneDrive for Business is available to users from remote locations. Solution: you inform users that they should use their Microsoft Azure AD credentials to sign in to their devices. Does the solution meet the goal? And the options are yes or no, and the correct option is yes, this solution meets our required goal. And the explanation is that informing users to sign in to their devices using their Microsoft Azure AD credentials is a necessary step to ensure that they can access OneDrive for Business. When users sign in with their Azure AD credential, they gain access to their OneDrive files and resources associated with their account, including from remote locations. Thus, this solution meets the goal of making OneDrive data available to users remotely. Question number 20. Your company makes use of Microsoft 365 in their environment. You have been tasked with making sure that admin's roles are protected. The feature you use should achieve this by requiring approvals. Which of the following is a feature you should use? And the options are option A, mobile application protection policy. Option B, Microsoft Azure AD identity protection. Option C, Microsoft Azure AD privilege identity protection. And option D, Microsoft Azure AD conditional access. And the correct option is option C, Microsoft Azure AD privilege identity protection. And the explanation is Microsoft Azure AD privilege identity protection is designed to manage and protect admin roles within Azure Active Directory by requiring approval for role activation. This feature allows organizations to ensure just-in-time access, meaning that users must request approval to activate their privileged roles, helping to mitigate risk associated with excessive permissions and ensuring that admin roles are better protected. Question number 21. Your company makes use of Microsoft 365 in their environment. You have been tasked with making sure that members of the global administrator group are protected. The feature you should use the feature you use should achieve this by making use of dynamic risk profiles. Which of the following is a feature you should use? And the options are option A, mobile application protection policy. Option B, device configuration policy. Option C, Microsoft Azure AD privileged identity protection. And option D, Microsoft Azure AD conditional access. And the correct option is option D, Microsoft Azure AD conditional access. And the explanation is Microsoft Azure AD conditional access is designed to protect sensitive roles like global administrators by applying policies based on dynamic risk profiles. It allows organizations to enforce conditions under which users can access resources, such as requiring multi-factor authentication for high-risk sign-ins or blocking access from suspicious locations. This makes it an effective solution for dynamically assessing risk and securing access to critical accounts. Question number 22. You have been tasked with deploying Microsoft 365 for your company in a hybrid configuration. You want to make sure that a smart card can be used by staff for authentication purposes. Solution: you configure the use of password hash synchronization with single on as the hybrid identity solution. Does the solution meet the goal? The options are yes or no, and the correct option is No, this solution does not meet the goal. So this is basically single sign-on. This is not single on, this is SSO, single sign-on. So the explanation is that configuring password hash synchronization with single sign-on in a hybrid identity setup does not inherently protect smart card authentication. While this configuration allows users to authenticate using their Azure AD credentials, it does not facilitate smart card-based authentication, which typically requires Active Directory Federation services or similar solution that can directly handle certificate-based authentication. Therefore, this solution does not meet the requirement for using smart card for authentication. Question number 23. You have been tasked with deploying Microsoft 365 for your company in a hybrid configuration. You want to make sure that a smart card can be used by staff for authentication purposes. Solution. You configure the use of pass-through authentication and single sign-on as the hybrid identity solution. Does this solution meet the goal? And again, we have the options of yes and no. And the correct option is no, this solution also does not meet the required goal. And this is why, while pass-through authentication allows users to log in with their on-premises Active Directory credentials, it does not directly support smart card authentication in a hybrid configuration. Smart card authentication typically requires Active Directory Federation services, that is ADFS, or similar setups that can handle certificate-based authentication. Therefore, configuring pass-through authentication and single sign-on does not meet the requirement for using smart card for authentication. Question number 24. Again, we have the same question. And this time the solution is that you configure the use of Active Directory Federation services as the hybrid identity solution. Or does this solution meet the goal? Again, the options are yes or no. And the correct option is yes. The configuration of Active Directory Federation services as the hybrid identity solution does meet the goal. And the explanation is that configuring Active Directory Federation services, that is ADFS, as the hybrid identity solution does meet the goal of enabling smart card authentication for staff. ADFS supports certificate-based authentication, which is required for smart card logins. This allows users to authenticate using their smart card seamlessly in a hybrid Microsoft 365 environment, fulfilling the requirement. Question number 25. You need to consider the underlined segment to establish whether it is accurate to retrieve data for employees who request personal data under General Data Protection Regulation, that is GDPR guidelines. You have to create a GDPR assessment. Select no adjustment required if the underlined segment is accurate, and if the underlined segment is inaccurate, select the accurate option. What should you do? And the options are option A, no adjustment required. Option B, mobile application protection policy. Option C, device configuration policy. And option D, data subject request case. And the correct option is option D, data subject request case. And the explanation is to retrieve personal data for employees who request it under GDPR guidelines, the correct approach is to create a data subject request case, not a GDPR assessment. A data subject request case is specifically designed to handle requests from individuals regarding their personal data, ensuring compliance with GDPR. Therefore, the underlined segment is inaccurate. Question number 26. Your company has a Microsoft 365 subscription. You have been tasked with removing customer information in compliance with the GDPR. after the customer generated data subject request. You want to make sure that legal holds are placed on relevant information if the opportunity arises. You want to start searching for the client's information by using Content Search e-Discovery. Which of the following applications can be searched with this method? Choose two options. In the options are option A, Microsoft Power Apps, option B, Microsoft Outlook, option C, Microsoft Access, and option D, Microsoft SharePoint Online. And the correct option is option B, Microsoft Outlook. And the second correct option is Microsoft SharePoint Online. And the explanation is the content search in e-discovery can be used to search for and identify content across various Microsoft 365 applications, including Microsoft Outlook for emails and calendar items, and Microsoft SharePoint Online for documents and sites. However, Microsoft Power Apps and Microsoft Access are not supported for searches using Content Search e-Discovery. Therefore, the correct options are B and D. Question number 27. You have been tasked with configuring a data governance strategy that allows for data classification. It should also allow for these classifications to be enforced. Which of the following should form part of your strategies? Choose two options. And the options are option A, apply Microsoft SharePoint permissions. Option B, publish labels. Option C, configure Microsoft Outlook mail tips. Option D, apply supervision policies. Option E, apply retention policies. And option F, apply preservation policies. And the correct option is, the correct options are option B, publish labels, and option E, apply retention policies. And the explanation is, to configure data governance strategies that allows for data classification and enforcement of these classifications, you should focus on publishing labels. This involves creating and publishing sensitivity labels that classify data based on its sensitivity level, enabling enforcement of policies associated with these classifications. And applying retention policies. Retention policies help ensure that data is kept for a specified period according to its classification, thus enforcing the governance strategy. These two components are critical for a robust data governance strategy that includes data classifications and enforcement. Question number 28. Your company has a Microsoft Office 365 subscription. As an administrator for this subscription, you are required to configure the use of a cloud security feature that allows for emails and documents to be classified and labeled. Which of the following is the feature you should use? And the options are option A, Microsoft Azure Information Protection. Option B, Microsoft Azure AD Identity Protection. Option C, Microsoft Azure AD Privilege Identity Protection. And option D, Intune App Protection. And the correct option is option A, Microsoft Azure Information Protection. And the explanation is the Microsoft Azure Information Protection, that is AIP, is the cloud security feature that enables the classification and labeling of emails and documents. It helps organizations to apply specific security policies to data based on its sensitivity, ensuring that sensitive information is properly managed and protected. The other options do not specifically provide classifications and labeling capabilities for emails and documents. Question number 9. After acquiring a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription, you are tasked with applying security features. You are currently configuring a security feature that allows you to control how a Microsoft support engineer accesses information during a help session. Which of the following is the feature you are configuring? And the options are option A, customer logbox, option B, data governance, option C, data loss prevention, and option D, Microsoft Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection. And the correct option is option A, customer logbox. What is customer logbox? Customer logbox is a feature that allows organizations to control how Microsoft support engineers can access their data during a help session. It requires explicit approval from customer before Microsoft can access their data, enhancing security and privacy. The other options do not provide the same level of control or support access to data. Question number 30. After acquiring a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription, you are tasked with applying security features. You are currently configuring a security feature that allows you to protect against unidentified malware, viruses, and malicious URL. Which of the following is the feature you are configuring? And the options are option A, Microsoft Azure Identity Protection, option B, Data Governance, option C, Microsoft Azure AD Conditional Access, and option D, Microsoft Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection. And the correct option is option D, Microsoft Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection. And the explanation is Microsoft Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection is designed to protect against unidentified viruses, unidentified malware, viruses, and malicious URLs. It includes features like safe attachments, safe links, and threat intelligence to help safeguard users and data from potential threats. The other options do not specifically focus on protection against malware and other malicious threats. Question number 31. A retail company is planning to upgrade their Windows 7 point of sale terminals to Windows 10. You have been informed that the terminal should only be upgraded again after a minimum of 5 years. Your solution has to allow for the scheduling of upgrades and updates to be executed consistently for all devices while also keeping costs to a minimum. Which of the following is the version of Windows you should upgrade to? And the options are option A, Windows 10 Home, option B, Windows 10 Pro, option C, Windows 10 Enterprise, and option D, Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC. And the correct option is option D, Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC. And the explanation is Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC, that is long-term servicing channel, is designed for devices that require a stable and consistent environment such as point-of-sale terminals. It receives security updates but does not receive features updates, allowing for a 5-year upgrade cycle, which aligns with the environment of upgrading only after a minimum of 5 years. This version also helps keeps cost to a minimum by reducing the need for frequent upgrades and updates. Question number 32. A retail company is planning to upgrade their Windows 7 points of sale terminals to Windows 10. You have been informed that the terminal should only be upgraded again after a minimum of 5 years. Your solution has to allow for the scheduling of upgrades and updates to be executed consistently for all devices while also keeping costs to a minimum. Which of the following is the servicing tool that you should use? And the options are option A, Windows Autopilot, option B, Windows Server Update Services, option C, Microsoft Intune, and option D, Azure AD Connect. And the correct option is option B, Windows Server Update Services. And the explanation is the Windows Server Update Services is the appropriate servicing tool for this scenario. It allows for the management and scheduling of updates and upgrades across multiple devices in a consistent manner. Windows Server Update Services helps ensure that point of sale terminals receive necessary updates while minimizing costs associated with managing updates individually. While Microsoft Intune could also manage updates, Windows Server Update Services is typically preferred for on-premises environments like retail point of sale systems. Question number 33. You have been tasked with deploying Microsoft Office to company using a subscription-based licensing model. The version of Office you deploy should allow for Office application settings to be enforced via group policy. Solution: you deploy Office Professional Plus 2016. Does the solution meet the goal? And the options are option A, yes, and option B, no. And the correct option is option B, no. And the explanation is Office Professional Plus 2016 does not support subscription-based licensing. It is a one-time purchase version. For a subscription-based licensing model that allows for application settings to be enforced via group policy, you should deploy Microsoft 365 applications for Enterprise, formerly known as Office 365 Pro Plus. This version supports subscription licensing and allows for the enforcement of settings through group policy. Question number 34. You have been tasked with deploying Microsoft Office to company using a subscription-based licensing model. The version of Office you deploy should allow for Office application settings to be enforced via group policy. Solution: you deploy Office Home and Business 2016. Does the solution meet the goal? And again, the options are yes or no. And the correct option is no. This solution does not meet the goal. And the explanation is Office Home and Business 2016 is a one-time purchase version and does not support subscription-based licensing. It also does not provide the ability to enforce application settings via group policy. For a subscription-based licensing model that allows for enforcing setting through group policy, you should deploy Microsoft 365 Apps for Enterprise, formerly known as Office 365 Pro Plus, which is designed for such management and deployment scenarios. Question number 365. Again, we have the same question, and this time the solution is that you deploy Office 365 Pro Plus. Does the solution meet the goal? And again, we have the options of yes or no. And this time the correct option is yes. Deploying Office 365 Pro Plus does meet the goal. So the Office 365 Pro Plus, now known as Microsoft 365 Apps for Enterprise, allows for application settings to be enforced via group policy. This version supports a subscription-based licensing model and provides the necessary management feature for enterprise environments, including group policy object, settings for configuration and deployment. Question number 36. Your company has a Microsoft 365 subscription. As an administrator for this subscription, you have been tasked with assigning Microsoft 365 licenses to users in a department where audio conferencing is not required. The department does, however, require Office desktop products to complete tasks. Which of the following is the license that would help you achieve this? The options are option A, Office 365 Pro Plus, option B, Microsoft 365 E1, option C, Office 365 E3, and option D, Office 365 E5. And the correct option is option A, Office 365 Pro Plus. So the most suitable license for the department that requires Office desktop products but not audio conferencing is Office 365 Pro Plus. This license provides access to the full suite of Office desktop applications including Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and more. It's ideal for users who need to work offline or have specific software requirements that are not fully met by the web-based versions. Question number 37. Your company has a Microsoft Office 365 subscription. As an administrator for this subscription, you have been tasked with assigning Microsoft 365 licenses for a department where users need to collaborate with other users and also check their job schedule on a weekly basis. The department does not, however, require Office desktop products to complete tasks. Which of the following is the license that would help you achieve this? And the options are option A, Office 365 E1, option B, Microsoft 365 E1, option C, Office 365 E3, and option D, Office 365 E5. And the correct option is option A, Office 365 F1. So the Office 365 F1 license is specifically designed for first-line workers who need access to Office applications and services for collaboration, communication, and productivity tasks without requiring desktop versions of Office. It includes tools like Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, and Exchange Online, making it suitable for users who need to collaborate and check schedules regularly. While Microsoft 365 E1 is also a good option, it is generally more suited for knowledge workers who might need a broader range of services. In this case, since the department does not require desktop products, Office 365 F1 is the best fit. Question number 38. You need to identify which Microsoft platforms provide hybrid capability for migrating from an on-premises deployment. Which two platforms provide hybrid capabilities for migration? Each correct answer provides a complete solution. Note each correct selection is worth 1 point. And options are option A, Microsoft Skype for Business, option B, Microsoft Yammer, option C, Microsoft Exchange, and option D, Microsoft Teams. And the correct option is option C, Microsoft Exchange, and option D, Microsoft Teams. And the explanation is Microsoft Exchange. Microsoft Exchange supports hybrid deployment through Exchange hybrid configuration, allowing organizations to maintain both on-premises and cloud-based mailboxes while providing users with seamless access to their email services. Microsoft Teams. Teams can integrate with on-premises solutions, allowing organizations to leverage existing telephony systems while gradually migrating to the cloud. Microsoft Skype for Business is being phased out in favor of Teams, and Microsoft Yammer primarily focuses on enterprise social networking rather than hybrid migration. Question number 39. A company has an Exchange server environment. The company plans to migrate to the cloud. You need to recommend a cloud model that meets the following requirements. Number one, upgrade the existing email environment. And number two, minimize server and application maintenance. Which model should you recommend? Options are option A, platform as a service, option B, Windows as a service, option C, software as a service, and option D, infrastructure as a service. And the correct option is option C, software as a service. And the explanation is software as a service is the best model for upgrading an existing email environment while minimizing server and application maintenance. In this model, the cloud provider manages the underlying infrastructure, platform, and software applications. This allows the company to leverage cloud-based email services like Microsoft 365 or Exchange Online without needing to manage servers or applications directly. Question number 40. You need to deploy an application to Microsoft Infrastructure as a Service. Which three features are part of Infrastructure as a Service? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note each correct solution is worth 1 point. And the options are option A, business analytics, option B, real-time monitoring, option C, operating system, option D, servers and storage, and option E, firewall and network security. And the correct options are operating systems, servers and storage, and firewall and network security. So these all are part of the infrastructure as a service. And the explanation for all these three is operating system. In infrastructure as a service, you have the flexibility to install and manage your own operating system on the virtual machines, servers and storage. Infrastructure as a service provides virtualized computing resources over the internet, including virtual machines and storage solution. Firewall and network security. Infrastructure as a service typically includes features for firewall and network security, allowing users to configure their network security settings and policies to protect their resources. Question number 41. Which type of cloud model provides access to Microsoft Office apps? And the options are option A, platform as a service, option B, infrastructure as a service, and option C, software as a service. And the correct option is option C, software as a service. So software as a service provides access to software applications directly over the internet. Microsoft 365, which includes Microsoft Office apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook, is a prime example of software as a service offering. Question number 42. A company has an on-premises application server. The company wants to use some of the services in Microsoft 365 with the on-premises application server. You need to choose a cloud deployment model that meets the requirement. What should you choose? And the options are option A, private, B, hybrid, and C, public. And the correct option is option B, public. So a hybrid cloud deployment model combines both on-premises and cloud-based resources. In this scenario, the on-premises application server should remain on-premises, while the cloud would leverage cloud-based services from Microsoft 365. This hybrid approach allows for seamless integration between the two environments, enabling the on-premises application to interact with cloud-based services like Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, or Teams. Question number 43. A company plans to migrate on-premises infrastructure to the cloud. What are the three benefits of migrating to cloud? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note each correct selection is worth 1 point. The options are option A, reduce configuration requirement on desktop computers. Option B, reduce on-site network latency. Option C, automate data backup and disaster recovery. Option D, scale and extend applications. And option E, eliminate the cost of buying server hardware. And the correct options are option C, automate data backup and disaster recovery. Option D, scale and extend applications. And option E, eliminate the cost of buying server hardware. So the three benefits of migrating on-premise infrastructure to the cloud are: number one, automate data backup and disaster recovery. Cloud services often include automated solution for data backup and disaster recovery, which helps ensure data integrity and availability without the need for manual interaction. Number two, scale and extend applications. The cloud allows businesses to easily scale their applications up or down based on demand. This flexibility can lead to improved resource utilization and cost management. And number three, eliminate the cost of buying server hardware. Migrating to the cloud means that organizations no longer need to invest in physical server hardware, which can lead to significant cost savings in capital expenditures and maintenance. Question number 44. You need to reduce the amount of time that the IT team spends on user support. What are three possible ways to achieve this goal? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note each correct solution is worth 1 point. In the options are option A, enable Microsoft Office 365 customer logbox. Option B, upgrade all client devices to Windows 10. Option C, use Windows Autopilot to deploy devices. Option D, deploy Microsoft My Analytics to devices. And option E, deploy Microsoft Office 365 Professional Plus to all client devices. And the correct options are option B, upgrade all client devices to Windows 10. Option C, use Windows Autopilot to deploy devices. And option E, deploy Microsoft Office 365 Professional Plus to all client devices. And the explanation is upgrading to Windows 10 improves user experience and reduces support issues with its built-in security features and better application compatibility. This leads to fewer user-related problems, minimizing support requests. Use Windows Autopilot to deploy devices. So Windows Autopilot simplifies device deployment, allowing IT to configure devices remotely. This streamlines the setup process, reduces manual intervention, and lessens the time IT spends on configuring and troubleshooting new devices. And deploying Microsoft Office 365 Professional Plus to all client devices. Office 365 Professional Plus provides automatic updates and the latest Office applications, reducing the need for IT support in managing software. Its cloud features like OneDrive for Business helps users store and share files easily, decreasing the file-related support issues. Question number 45. You are the Microsoft 365 administrator for a company. You install Microsoft Office 365 Professional Plus on 5 devices. You deactivate the Microsoft Office 365 Pro Plus license on one device. Which tasks you can perform on the deactivated device? Options are option A, edit a column. Option B, create a document. Option C, co-author a document. And option D, view a document. And the correct option is option D, view a document. So when Microsoft Office 365 Pro Plus license is deactivated on a device, the user can still view the documents, but they will not be able to edit, create, or co-author documents without an active license. Question number 46. Your company has a Microsoft 365 subscription. You need to co-author files with other users. Which tool should you use? The options are option A, Microsoft SharePoint Online. Option B, Microsoft Skype for Business Online. Option C, Microsoft Office Delve. And option D, Microsoft Exchange Online. And the correct option is option A, Microsoft SharePoint Online. And the explanation is Microsoft SharePoint Online provides a collaborative environment where multiple users can co-author files in real time, while other tools like Microsoft Exchange Online can facilitate communication. SharePoint is specifically designed for document management and collaboration. Question number 47. You are the Microsoft 365 administrator for a company. You install Microsoft Office 365 Pro Plus on 5 devices. You deactivate one device. Which task can you perform on the deactivated device? Options are option A, print a document. Option B, leave a comment in a document. Option C, start a new document from a template. And option D, set properties on a document. And the correct option is option A, print a document. So when a device with Microsoft Office 365 Pro Plus is deactivated, users can still perform certain tasks like printing documents. However, editing or creating new documents described in option B, C, and D would typically require an active license. Question number 48. A company has a Microsoft 365 subscription. You deploy Windows 10 devices by using Windows Autopilot. You need to ensure that team members can access data that is stored in OneDrive for Business when team members are at remote sites. What should you do? In the options are option A, enroll team members in Microsoft Azure AD multi-factor authentication. Option B, add devices to Microsoft 365 using the device tile. Using the devices tile. Option C, enroll devices in Microsoft Intune. And option D, direct team members to sign in to their devices using their Microsoft Azure AD credentials. And the correct option is option D, direct team members to sign in to their devices using their Microsoft Azure AD credentials. And the explanation is, so enrolling devices in Microsoft Intune allows for better management and security of the devices, ensuring that team members can access OneDrive for Business securely even from remote site. Intune also enables you to implement policies for data protection and access controls. So I think this explanation is for this option, option C. So the correct option is this one, option C, not the option D. Question number 49. You are a Microsoft 365 administrator for a company. Microsoft plans to release a new feature for Microsoft Excel. You need to ensure that features become available for employees to install as soon as possible. To which release channel should you subscribe? The options are option A, Microsoft release, option B, standard release, option C, Microsoft 365 team release, and option D, targeted release. And the correct option is option D, targeted release. So the targeted release channel allows organizations to receive new features and updates as soon as they are available before they are rolled out to all users. This is ideal for testing new features in a controlled environment, ensuring that employees can access the latest updates for Microsoft Excel as soon as possible. The other options such as Microsoft Release, Standard Release, and Office 365 Team Release do not support the same level of immediacy for feature availability. Question number 50. Your company is evaluating the differences between deployment of Office 365 Pro Plus and Office 2016. You need to determine the installation feature of each deployment. Which installation feature is unique to Office 365 Pro Plus? In the options are option A, installation can be completed by using click to run. Option B, installation can be completed by using System Center Configuration Manager. Option C, installation is available in both 32-bit and 64-bit versions. And option D, installation is on the user's local computer. And the correct option is option A, installation can be completed by using click to run. And the explanation is, click to run is a unique installation method for Office 365 Pro Plus that allows for streaming installation and quick access to Office applications. While Office 2016 can also be installed using other methods like System Center Configuration Manager, the click-to-run installation feature specifically distinguishes Office 365 Pro Plus. The other options, such as being available in both 32-bit and 64-bit versions and being installed on the user local computer, apply to both Office 365 Pro Plus and Office 2016. Question number 51. You use Microsoft of 365 usage analytics. You need to know the number of users who are active today and were also active last month. Which adoption metric should you use? And the options are option A, MOM returning users, option B, enabled users, option C, active user, and option D, cumulative active users. And the correct option is option A, MOM returning users. And the explanation is the MOM returning user, that is month over month returning user metric, specifically tracks users who were active both in the current month and the previous month, helping you identify retention and ongoing engagement trends. Enabled user refers to users who have been enabled for the service but does not indicate whether they are active. Active users measures users who were active in the current period but does not consider their previous activity. And cumulative active user counts all unique active users over time but does not differentiate between users active in current and last month. Question number 52. You are the desktop administrator for an organization. You need to ensure that Office 365 Pro Plus is installed on all employee computers. Which three tools can you use to deploy Office 365 Pro Plus? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. And the options are option A, Microsoft Intune, option B, System Center Operations Manager, option C, Windows Installer Package, option D, System Center Configuration Manager, and option E, Office Deployment Tool. And the correct options are option A, Microsoft Intune, and option D, Microsoft Center Configuration Manager, and option E, Office Deployment Tool. And the explanation is Microsoft Intune. So Intune allows for the management and deployment of Office 365 Pro Plus applications on Windows devices, providing a seamless installation experience. System Center Configuration Manager, SCCM, that is System Center Configuration Manager, is used to manage and deploy applications across a network of computers, including Office 365 Pro Plus. Office Deployment Tool. This tool is specifically designed to download and deploy Office 365 Pro Plus, allowing for customized installation based on organizational needs. Question number 53. A company has offices in multiple regions. The company has a Microsoft 365 subscription. The company is developing a line of business application. The application must meet the following requirements. Number one, ensure availability regardless of an employee's location. Number two, track the devices on which the app is installed by using Microsoft Cloud services. And number three, minimize cost. What should you do? And the options are option A, copy the app to Microsoft OneDrive. Allow employees to download and install the app from OneDrive. Option B, deploy the app to all devices by using Microsoft Intune. Option C, copy the app to local servers. Allow employees to download and install the app from the servers. And option D, deploy the app to all devices by using group policy. And the correct option is option B, deploy the app to all devices by using Microsoft Intune. So, Intune has these three benefits or features. You can say Intune's enable, number one is availability. Intune's enable cloud-based application deployment, ensuring that employees can access the app from anywhere regardless of their location. Number two, tracking devices. Intune provides capabilities to monitor and track the devices on which the app is installed, leveraging Microsoft Cloud services. And number three, cost minimization. Using Intune allows centralized management and deployment, reducing the overhead costs associated with maintaining local servers or other deployment methods. Question number 54. You need to determine the life cycle of products and features in Microsoft 365. What should you use? And the options are option A, support.microsoft.com, option B, Microsoft Lifecycle Services, option C, docs.microsoft.com, And option D, Microsoft 365 roadmap. And the correct option is option B, Microsoft Lifecycle Services. So Microsoft Lifecycle Services provides consistent and predictable guidelines for support throughout the life of a product, helping customers manage their IT investments and environments while strategically planning for the future. Question number 55. A company plans to migrate to Microsoft 365. Corporate devices run Windows 7 or Windows 10. You must upgrade all devices to use Office 365 Pro Plus and minimize costs. You need to standardize corporate device deployments. Which three actions should you perform? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Each correct selection is worth 1 point. In the options are option A, implement Windows Autopilot. Option B, deploy policies by using Configuration Manager. Option C, upgrade all devices to Windows 10. Option D, deploy policies by using Microsoft Intune. And option E, instruct users to download and install a Windows installer package for Office 365 Pro Plus. And the correct options are option A, implement Windows Autopilot. Option C, upgrade all devices to Windows 10. And option D, deploy policies by using Microsoft Intune. So the explanation for all three options are: number one is implement Windows Autopilot. So this tool simplifies the deployment and configuration of new Windows 10 devices, making it easier to set up devices according to corporate standards. Number two, upgrade all devices to Windows 10. Since Office 365 Pro Plus is designed for Windows 10, upgrading all devices ensures compatibility and allows the organization to take full advantage of the features. And number three, deploy policies by using Microsoft Intune. Intune is a cloud-based service that allows you to manage and enforce policies on corporate devices, facilitating a standard deployment across the organizations. So that's all for today and in this video. Thank you for watching. So please subscribe and stay tuned for the next video on Microsoft 365 or other IT certification. Thank you and see you soon.